I now turn to the ranking member for his 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Dr. Zhu, a question for you. In your research you published in July with Dr. Nellie Liang, you mentioned risk reduction and enhanced intermediation capacity as two of the primary benefits of central clearing. You also discussed how central clearing could help primary dealers free up hundreds of billions of dollars in additional balance sheet capacity. I think today I think you testified maybe 1.2 trillion. Can you explain how this central clearing rule will provide that balance sheet capacity?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Happy to, to elaborate on that. According to the supplementary leverage ratio rule, whenever a primary dealer borrows money from, let's say, money market mutual funds and onward lend it to a hedge fund, that money shows up on the balance sheet if the primary dealer is a counterparty to the transaction. However, if that transaction, the two sides of the transaction both move to central clearing, the dealer is no longer a counterparty to the transaction. Therefore, that gross amount of $100 in that example would not be on the balance sheet of the dealer, therefore not subject to supplementary leverage ratio. So I think that's a very powerful tool. Central clearing is a very powerful tool in removing that balance sheet constraint. That's why we come up with these estimates.
Thank you. Thank you for clarification. Now, I have a number of questions here, but Mr. McLaughlin, you caught something that really, you said something originally that really caught my attention, and that is, you said this, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so if I misquote you, please let me know. We do not have the capacity for 50 trillion. We could do all the things on the board, we just can't get there. That's too much. Did you say that, or, oh, you said that?
Yes, sir, I'm afraid I did.
Oh, okay, so you don't think that then there will be enough capacity?
No, I think if the mandate is implemented properly, with some considerable thought, I think it can be a fine tool toward getting us to where we need to go. The thing is, though, that we always seem in the marketplace, and look, I'm not an academic. I've just spent the last 35 years in and around trading desks.
Right.
So I watch the way the market moves and acts. There's the U.S. Treasury market, there's parts of it that are struggling to work. SLR, yes, that's a piece of the puzzle. We should work on changing that and increasing balance sheet capacity. Is that an elixir? Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, let me do this, because they give us limited time here. Would anyone challenge that position to say that there is capacity for 50 trillion? Because the reason is very simple. I don't try to hide the ball. I do think that ultimately we're right. Everyone's right that you can't go on like this. The deficits are too big, that we can't do this. It's not sustainable. I don't know what level that is, but at the end of the day, it's math. Would anyone disagree with that?
Can I give you an example why I think it won't work on certain days? So in September of 2019, repo rates went to 10%. Now, the reason why that happened is we had it was like the perfect storm. We had 5 U.S. Treasury securities settling. We also had quarter end, so balance sheets were already being constrained by window dressing.
Right, but I think the problem is
wait
this,
a minute.
But no, hold on.
Okay.
Because you're going to a very specific thing. I want to know about capacity in general, not one day.
But this
Ms. McLaughlin, hold on.
this
No, I'm going to
speaks
go
to
to Ms.
capacity.
McLaughlin. I'd like to ask her. Ms. McLaughlin, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know if 50 is the right number or some other number is the right number, but I do agree that at some point we will reach a number where it's going to be a real problem.
Doctor?
I think once we implement the treasury clearing fully and other initiatives such as transparency and potentially having more platform oversight, I think there will be a wide variety of market participants come in, such as smaller broker-dealers, clearinghouse, trading platforms.
But it sort of creates more capacity, but does it get up to the 50, 60 trillion, wherever we're heading?
It's hard to speculate on the exact number at this point. But I think all these initiatives, that's why these are so important. At least, given the current level, completing these reforms would make the treasury market much more resilient. But I tend to agree that in the long run, sustainable debt level is the fundamental solution.
Okay. I know they give us very limited time. I just have 20 seconds. So I just want to say this. I do think that there's a problem here. And ultimately, this is math. It's math. And as insurance, as people think it's, no, ultimately it's math. And there's a problem. the politics is what creates the problem for the math, obviously, both sides. When we were able to balance the budget, created a political problem for a lot of people. And I think at some point, we're going to have to figure this out, both sides. But anyway, thank you for your testimony here today. I appreciate it.
Gentleman's time has expired.